All right, hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Heaviest Weight. If you're new here, hi. So excited to have you, so excited to be back from such a long time. So this episode is promising because I feel like it's the perfect episode to kind of reintroduce myself with a good old Q&A. But first, some housekeeping announcements. I have decided to go back to kind of the original concept behind The Heaviest Weight, which was literally a coffee house conversation, you and I just sitting down, having a good time, and talking about things that matter. I kind of got lost along the way when I was doing that because I wanted it to be perfect and polished, and in true CC fashion, I wanted it to kind of sound like I have all of this like state-of-the-art equipment or state-of-the-art editing and time and all these resources. I wanted it to be top-notch. And the reality is it's me doing everything, and I think for me it's more important to have these conversations and these topics and to get the knowledge out there, to get the conversation going, than for it to be perfect. So I'll be doing from here on out these one-shot takes of podcast where you'll hear the ums and the stumbling over my own words because I'm too jittery on coffee or whatever. I think that's more authentic. I think that's more, you'll see who I am more, and it'll be fun. We'll just make it fun, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be absolutely state of the art, and it doesn't, I don't have to say the same sentence 10 times until I get it right. Like, we're gonna roll with it, and I think I'm gonna find a way to fall in love with that somewhere along the process. Also, I am gonna be also posting the video version of this on YouTube. So that way, hopefully, if you're a visual person or you like YouTube more, you can discover all of these things. No, I'm not re-recording every single podcast I've done. This podcast has been kind of in the works and behind the scenes for a couple of years now. Crazy enough. That's wild to me. But it's been less consistent lately because I think I've been trying to make them so perfect, and I'm excited to move forward and just let you kind of see and hear me kind of just in a more authentic version of myself. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll probably always be in a different place. Maybe I'll be at this gym. This is my gym, where I get to film a lot of training videos for my clients and working with my clients. So that's where I'm recording today. But moving forward, I can't promise that some of these won't be in the car and won't be, in my apartment or anywhere else. So that's me, and that's that. But now, welcome to The Heaviest Weight season 2, I guess, with these new one take, one stop kind of things. I don't know. Let's dive in right into these questions. I had some really good questions from this Q&A I posted a little over a month ago. So let's go ahead and get into it. First up, for those of you who don't know, I just finished competing in FMG Mexico, and I came in second as a bikini pro. So that was such a fun experience. But this first question is going right off of that. After winning second in the show, are you planning to stay in bikini? If so, are you planning to compete next year? So basically, what am I doing for 2025 as far as being on stage as a pro bikini competitor for FMG? That's how I'm taking that question. And the answer is, I don't have an answer. I'm starting so strong. Truth be told, I love the bikini look. I think it's awesome. I think it's super feminine and strong and confident. I want to push myself to grow out of bikini. I don't see myself staying in bikini forever. That's not my goal. I love being able to compete in different levels and in different intensities as I continue to push my body, if that makes sense. So like, I love that I can stay in bikini and compete in bikini for the time being, but I do not plan to stay in bikini for my entire bodybuilding career. So for me, instead of just thinking about what show am I doing next year, I'm more focused on my physique. I'm focused on how I can grow during this build season and how long do I want to stay in that build, how hard I can push, see the growth, see the process, and kind of go from there. I have a few show dates tentative in mind, but don't know yet. I know I can't say for sure. I will definitely be showing up to shows. Whether I'm a competitor or not, I will be there to help out, to take your picture as you look awesome on stage. I'll be there backstage if I can help out. If I talk to some of the show promoters and help out, I would be honored to, love to. But as far as competing, I want to come back and be 10 times more fierce than the last time I was on stage. And I had such a great time on stage, but there were so many things leading up to getting there that were obstacles that I never want to put myself back in. So I'd rather do things slow and steady and make sure that I'm in a good place. So there's that. Question 2. What is something that you love about bodybuilding, and what's the thing you hate about your fitness journey? Okay, fair. I love seeing the growth. I guess I just kind of talked about it, but the growth in the gym. So not so much the physique per se changing, because yeah, you'll see that over time for sure, but I think it's seeing it in the gym, seeing weights that used to be a struggle for me to pick up, and we're talking like a year ago that was like my max, and now it's my warm-up. Like, the consistency of keeping that training intensity 10 out of 10 for where I'm at in my journey, pushing myself to stay disciplined even when the motivation's gone, the inspiration's gone, when you're in the thick of it and you're like, what is this all for? That to me is really important. And I think that's probably my favorite part, is kind of like being able to still grind it out regardless, and being like in the thick of it and seeing the progress, like being proud of like you can add another plate to your leg press or your hip thrust or whatever, and then like just the consistency of it. So the thing I hate about the journey, I would say it's the time it takes, which I think I'm not alone in saying that. I'm pretty sure most people would say that. I would argue to say that if you asked most bodybuilders, especially natural athletes, what's the one thing that they hate about the process, that it takes time, that you have to constantly wait you know, you have to do the consistency of it. You have to kind of push yourself every day to do it. And in doing so, it's time, you know. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's not talk about me. Let's pick another question. I like this one. When it comes to body recomposition, what should be my first focus? I like that. I'm gonna not try to give you the answer that every competitor or coach will give you, which is, it depends on the person, right? I think it's to get you to a healthy body weight, right? Like I don't know where you're starting from, but if you're starting from some, like let's say you're extremely overweight and you have a lot of excess body fat, the number one goal is to get you into a healthy place. So the goal, I guess, the top priority would be to reduce body fat first, get you somewhere where you want, not even want to be, but it'll just be easier to move, it'll be easier to operate. And then from that healthier point, then we can start building muscle. I wouldn't say like drop, you know, a ton of weight and get super lean out, because being lean it's extremely hard to grow muscle in that kind of state. If you're a newbie when it comes to lifting and strength training and all that, could you gain some muscle while being in a caloric deficit? For sure. And in a recomp, the deficit is obviously a little bit, the bigger you are, as a starting point, the harder it is going to be, or the longer time it will take to kind of chip away at that to get to that healthier baseline. But for me, the priority would be health first. And then once you're there and you can build muscles, then you can start looking at like kind of upping your calories again, right? Because as you get stronger and as you build more muscle, your metabolic rate will increase. You'll be able to burn more calories at rest. And so then you're also going to need more protein to feed said muscles. So like it kind of filters itself. That's how it's a recomp, right? And a rebuild, I guess, because you have to kind of strip down some of that excess body fat, but it doesn't have to stay so extreme and so low. I feel like some of the reasons why people lose sight of it or give up in a recomp is when they get to that point where they're dieting down and they just say they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're like, oh, I'm gonna have to eat just salads for the rest of my life. This is so defeating. This is so unfulfilling. And so they'll binge and they'll kind of go in the opposite direction. And that is always my number one goal, is to kind of make sure that we're not doing such a heavy restriction where dietary adherence becomes null and void, and you're like binging on the side and then not telling your coach or anything like that. Like I think that's kind of the big red flag of like, hey, this plan isn't working for you. You need to reassess. But yeah, priority, regardless of your starting point, is health, healthy baseline. And then from there we can go in the direction that you need to go as far as like building muscle, or like where you're trying to, like, what are you trying to build for? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get a little bit lean for a special event? Or are you trying to build muscle for your overall health, energy, etc., etc.? Cool. This one just says natural or enhanced. And to be candid, I don't know if they're talking about me as an athlete. If you're talking about my breast, I don't know what you're talking about. So, I don't know. I'm a natural athlete. I can't even say enhanced. I have a breast augmentation, yes. I wouldn't say enhanced, but you know, to each their own. I am not opposed to either I'm not opposed to natural athletes or enhanced athletes. That's just not the realm I have a lot of knowledge in. I know a lot about it, but I haven't walked in it. I've never done a cycle. I don't know any of that stuff, so I don't recommend it as far as like clients or anything like that. And as far as competitive clients, I don't have too many. There's like, you know, most of them are novice, so you don't need to be thinking of that yet. We're like baby deer, just kind of getting our footing, right? So like, let's not run before we walk. Like I said earlier, the thing that everyone hates about bodybuilding is a muscle takes time. So don't sit here and kid yourself thinking that if you just, you know, juice yourself up with a certain concoction, you're just gonna start building muscle like the Incredible Hulk. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So there's that. Okay, what a fun question. Okay, oh Lord. Just a few more here, I guess. Let's see, and then I'll just throw in some that I prefer to talk about, because why not? Let's see. Okay, I like this one. When it comes to nutrition, do you think that as a casual client, I'm gonna assume they mean lifestyle client, like just your regular person, do you find the 80-20 rule to be acceptable? Yes, I do. And it depends on what you're trying to do. But as far as like, if you're just healthy lifestyle, just want happy, healthy life, just trying to find the balance of it all, I think 80-20 rule is simple to remember. And as long as you are a healthy individual that does not have any kind of health conditions or complications and the undertones of your life, I feel like that's perfectly normal. If you're one of my clients and you work out 2 to 3 times a week and you just want to maintain, you're not trying to hit any specific target, you just want to have high energy, good health base, and enjoy life, 80-20 is perfect. And that falls into also like meal portions, meal selections, timing of meals, and then of course the thing that everyone thinks about, which is your overall calorie intake and food sources. Just because it fits in your macros doesn't necessarily mean it's right time to eat it or right time of I don't think the 80-20 rule works if you're like starving yourself for most of the morning so that you can have a giant piece of cake after your already late dinner, which was like an Italian pasta dish. So then all of a sudden you ate like 2,500 calories in 2 hours and then you go straight to bed. Like that might be in your macros, quote unquote, but that timing was off, the type of food was off, the portions of your food was off, and now you're gonna go to bed with like a giant belly blow. So that's kind of what I mean by that. Yes, 80-20 rule, 100%. But make sure that if that's how you're implementing like your normal nutrition guidance, like be real with yourself. I mean, most of us know that that example I just gave is not how you should live your normal day-to-day life. So if you were to do it that way, you kind of know that you're like bending the rules and trying to get away with it. And you're like, I'm wondering why I'm holding on to fat. And it's like, are you though? I think you kind of know. I think you know the answer. I think we should revisit what you're doing. But aside from that, I think that's a perfect way to kind of find that balance. Going hand in hand with this question, I'll follow up with this one. Do you think counting calories or food logs are necessary for a healthy life. If you've never tracked your food and you've never portioned control before, and you sign up with me as a client, I will make you do some type of food log. Now, I can't say every coach does this, but I try to support my people the best of my ability. So I do options when it comes to food logging. It's more work on my end, but I do it because I love you, honestly, and I want you to be successful. But you can, as my client, you can literally take a picture of your food, do like a photo album, and I've had some of them do like a shared album on, like, if they have an iPhone, and I have an iPhone, so they'll do a shared album with me and like just take their meal pictures there, or they'll send them to me when they were eating, or they'll like save them till the end of the day and then send a bunch of photos of food to me, or they download MyFitnessPal and track their food that way. And I do that like for two main reasons. The visual is exactly that. It's literally keeping the receipts. It's like, okay, well, this is everything you ate. And honestly, the food pictures, like some coaches are gonna be like, you're doing way too much, but they give me a better understanding of how often you're eating out, what that food might look like. Because if you go out to eat, let's say, and you're a novice at this game of life, and you track MyFitnessPal and you have a side of Brussels sprouts on your plate, and you just put in Brussels sprouts, okay, I'm gonna assume that those Brussels sprouts are steamed or just like air fried or baked with like nothing else on them. But then if you send me a picture from a restaurant and I see that they're glazed with some kind of vinaigrette and they've got like cheese on top and all of that stuff, now I know that those Brussels sprouts that were probably supposed to be 40 calories are actually closer to like 85, 90 calories. And it's like a fail-safe system for me to ensure success before we get to the check-in. And I'm like, I'm not really sure where your calories are going. I'm a little confused because it says you're under eating, but we're not moving the scale and you're not looking, your check-ins haven't moved. So it allows me to have that like extra step. And I find that my clients will stick to taking a picture 5 seconds before they devour their meal is a lot easier for them. And if they forget to log their food, if they're doing both, which I love, I prefer both because I'm just, that way everyone's on the same page. But if they are both logging their food and taking the photos, then even if they don't log their food right then and there, they have the photo to look back on and they go, oh yeah, that did come with an extra side of whatever the hell. You know what I mean? So it's just an easy way for me to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and making sure that food is where we want it to be, so we can take out the guesswork if we're not seeing results, or if we are seeing like drastic results, like, oh, okay, maybe we can have a little bit more carbs, or maybe we can implement more of this or that, you know. So it works in every way. But yeah, I don't think it's required forever for like long term, but I think if you've never done it before and you don't control yourself, like a lot of people don't actually know what 4 ounces of chicken look like. I know that sounds so stupid, but like if I were to like go out on the side of the road and show people a picture of 4 ounces of chicken and a picture of 6 ounces of chicken and be like, which one is the 4 ounces of chicken? There's a really good chance most people are gonna pick the 6 ounces of chicken. We just, as a society, have grown accustomed to these larger portions thanks to quick service dining and restaurants and all that, which is fabulous, except for now we're overeating without even thinking. Because if it goes on your plate on the restaurant table, often than not, you're just gonna eat it, especially if with your good company and you're like talking and chit-chatting, all of a sudden you look down and your food's gone. I know, because it's happened to me. So all that to say, if you've never like portion control and balanced yourself out or like weighed your food on a scale, you might not have that frame of reference. So like you might not realize just how many calories you are consuming. So I think it's important to start with calorie counting or portion control and or food logging as a way to kind of start teaching yourself. It's a teachable moment. It's a teaching tool. I don't think it's required for forever, but I think it's important to be consistent at it, especially in the beginning. So yeah, there's that. Okay, we'll do one more. There's like 3 more questions and I don't know which one I want to pick. We'll pick this one because it's a great one to end on, okay? Okay, great. Thanks for your input. So this one is, what made you want to start coaching and why do you think that you have a high success rate with clients? I have a high success rate with clients because I'm just a bad bitch. Just kidding. But I have such a love for coaching, and that stemmed from my background of not knowing how to help myself. And so now that I am a coach and I can help others kind of piece the puzzle together and figure out that health and wellness is not so far-fetched and it's not out of their control. It really is just kind of making it make sense for you, the individual, and being able to kind of be that like joint hitter and like make that happen for people. It is such a rewarding feeling, and it's something that like, I think even if I won the lottery and I never had to work a single day in my life, I would still coach. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things that I don't think there's enough good coaches out there. I think there's a lot of scam artists that disguise themselves, especially post-pandemic. Everyone all of a sudden is an online fitness trainer, and everyone knows how to help you lose weight and help you this, that, and if it worked for me, it'll work for you. Which I'm thankful that fitness is in people's minds, you know, and I think that's a step in the right direction. I'm not trying to knock everybody. There are some scam artists out there that like, they do piss me off because it sucks. It sucks when I hear from somebody a terrible horror story about their coach not caring or not getting back to them or not helping them or kind of, you know, ghosting them. And I'm like, you paid them how much? What the, you know what I mean? So I do feel some type of way about that, but I love helping people feel confident, feel good in their skin, feel like they're in control of their life. And I see it, you know, I get to watch it because I'm involved in the process. And I think that's what's so rewarding about what I get to do as a coach. And that's why I will never give this up, no matter how hard it gets, or like, you know, regardless of my situation or where I'm at or what I'm doing. Like, I don't ever see me not coaching. Like, I just want to be able to give people the knowledge and resources that I never had. When I got injured as a performer, I didn't know how to rehabilitate myself. I didn't know why I got injured. I didn't know that I was malnourished. I didn't know that, you know, Starbucks wasn't breakfast. I didn't know that eating only 50 grams of protein wasn't enough. And it sounds so crazy for me to say that now, but it's so true. Like, I didn't get enough sleep. I was always working at a night gig straight into an early morning gig. It's like, I didn't take care of myself, and I didn't realize that I wasn't doing that. You know, I thought I was being healthy because I would go to the gym and I would go on the treadmill for like an hour, but all I was doing was adding inflammation to my muscles that were already sore because all I did for my job was dance on concrete in theme parks. Like, I had a lot to learn, and now I'm so thankful that I've been a bookworm. I was never good at school. I never cared to sit still in school or learn anything, but when it came to all of these like certifications and courses that I took for health and wellness, for coaching, for nutrition coaching and everything, I was like a sponge. I just wanted to understand it so much. And so now that I have all of this kind of in my back pocket, that's all I want to do, is just to help people like circumvent the years that I spent trying to master all of this, and just being like the encyclopedia of it. Just being like, what do you need? How can I help? What are you, what's your obstacle? What are you working against? Let me help you. So that's why I love coaching, and that's why I won't ever stop. But yeah, I find it just such a rewarding job, and I think it's so cool because it's one of those where there's very few lines of work, I feel like, where you can see results, both physically and internally. And whether that be confidence or knowledge or just willpower, discipline, motivation, clients that stay with me start feeling those feelings. They start getting positive about their self-talk. They start getting excited about their fitness clothes or their supplements, and they share these little moments with me, and I'm like, it's the change, it's happening, it's there, it's in front of me. And that is, you can't put a price on that, you know what I mean? Like, that is the blessing. So yeah, I'll end it there. Just a little over 30 minutes, but this was such a fun Q&A. I'll probably do another one in a couple of months after we get through 2025. Holy crap. Okay, so we'll do that soon, and I'll do more videos soon, and this is exciting. Things to think about. If you don't follow me on YouTube, you should start, because I'm gonna be posting some more of those like tutorials and fun tips and tricks, and also just me being me, I guess. It's gonna be like a all-inclusive place for longer content. Just because I'm a millennial and I don't know how to social media. I really don't. If I did, I'd probably be making a lot more money. But I'm trying, you guys. I really am. So I want you to do me the super solid of, don't forget to share this with friends, follow for more, follow me on Instagram so that you don't miss the next Q&A, so you can submit some questions. That's gonna be heaviest_weight_podcast for this specific podcast page, because yes, I have one of those. And then my personal account for all coaching inquiries, DMs, all those things, that's gonna be cc_fitness17. And that's where I post the daily stuff, workout videos, tips and tricks, and all of those fun things. The link to my website is also there. And then yeah, leave a review, help a girl out, keep on keeping on, keep kicking ass, and I will see you real soon.